In the heart of Thrain, the silver flame burns brightly, yet danger still lurks in the shadows. A queen without a throne, a cleric whose pieties belie the daggers hidden in his sleeves. Into this world of tested honor and cunning intrigue step a band of adventurers, loyal to their queen, standing for truth, for honor, for Thrain itself. Assassins lurk in the shadows, villains conspire in the corridors of the church, and plots stir that may leave Thrain in ashes. Faith will be tested, blades will be drawn, and the fate of a nation will hang by a thread. These are the adventures of the Queen's Blades. Hello, and welcome to Tales from the Laughing Tree. This episode is to explain what in the world the Queen's Blades is. This is our short interim adventure that we're running while Blades and Banners is on a break. This break came about in a way that was mostly foreseen. Eric was getting involved in another theater project that he was going to be directing, and so it wasn't the sort of thing where he's going to be able to just take a night off on a regular basis. So we decided to call a season break, which I had talked about doing anyway, as a way of kind of breaking up the pace of the campaign, and run a short adventure. The players picked from among a few different options, and they picked the one that leaned into the Three Musketeers theme, swashbuckling romance being the broad genre. This is an idea that I've had for a while. I really love fencing and swords and swashbuckling and musketeers and all of these kind of aspects of this genre. And when a little while back, Keith Baker on his blog mentioned that if he was running a game in Thrain, which I have a soft spot for, he would be strongly inspired by the adventures of the Three Musketeers, because the political situation in Thrain kind of mirrors that situation where you have this tension between the old royal family that was overthrown during the war and the church that now rules Thrain. With the end of the war, you have this situation that's in flux. You have the Blood Regent, that's the old royal family's leader, Diani Irwinarn, who would be queen if it were not for that revolution about 80 years ago in the world. But the Keeper of the Flame, the nominal head of the church, is only a little girl. And so she's not really in a position to exercise actual political authority. And so most political authority in the church is exercised by Cardinal Crozin, who is a schemer. And so you have all of these intrigues going on. Is there an opportunity for Diani to once again seize actual power and rule as queen and not merely as a figurehead? Is Cardinal Crozin actually evil? Or is he simply making necessary compromises for the good of Thrain, achieving the necessary ends of Thrain through means that some might turn their nose up at? And into that situation of intrigue and compromise and very, very gray morality, introduce a group of adventurers who are honor bound to a character, to the queen, who are people with principles. And can those principles and can that idea of honor and can that idea of camaraderie survive in this space where there are knives behind every back? And I really like that as an adventure hook. And so our plan is to run this campaign for a couple of months, to tell an adventure. You know, if we were to imagine a series of adventure books, we would be telling one of those stories, an adventure of the Queen's Blades, the personal guard and retinue of Regent Diani Irwinarn, who as I said, has no official political power anymore. And the Queen's Blades are not only her guards, but also her agents, people through whom she can kind of exercise influence, through whom she can gather information, and that allow her to be more of an entity than her official status might otherwise let her. And of course, opposed in this by agents of Cardinal Cozin and by his guards, so that we have these two opposing groups of people who share a belief in Thrain, share a belief in the Silver Flame, but are on opposite ends of a political contest between two strong personalities. I think that sounds like a really great story, and I'm really looking forward to telling it with Mia and Colin and Casey, who are such wonderful players. I've got some things planned out, but I know they're going to take things in entirely unexpected directions that are going to be absolutely better than anything I could have planned. I'm really excited for you guys to meet the characters that they have dreamed up. And when we start recording on Saturday, I'm really excited to meet those characters in game. Assuming everything goes well and that nothing blows up our scheduling, we'll record this coming Saturday, and we should have the first episode up coming the following Monday. I really appreciate everyone's patience as we've taken a couple of weeks off with school starting and various other life things happening. It has just been madness, and so having a little bit of a break there has been wonderful. And I think for all of us. And so appreciate that. Don't worry, Blades and Banners will return. We're going to let Eric have the time to focus on his theater work, and then hopefully get back to recording Blades and Banners in a couple of months, and resume airing it shortly thereafter, once we wrap up the Queen's Blades. So with that said, one for all and all for Thrain.